Welcome, listeners, to Laser Mind, Awakened Senses, where we explore the depths of human consciousness and the power of living in the present moment. I'm your host, Maria, and I'm thrilled to continue on this sensory exploration with you. In today's episode, we'll be unlocking the transformative power of emotional awareness and how it paves the way for empathy, stronger connections, and a deeper understanding of ourselves. Let's begin! So, what exactly is emotional awareness? Emotional awareness is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions, as well as empathize with the emotions of others. It involves tuning into the subtle cues within ourselves, physical sensations, thoughts, and behavioral patterns that signal the presence of different emotions. More than just identifying feelings, emotional awareness is understanding the reasons behind them, understanding what triggered the response, and how it influences our behavior. Emotional awareness unlocks the benefits of improved relationships. Understanding your own emotions allows you to communicate your needs and boundaries effectively and be more empathetic to others. Increased empathy. With a handle of your own emotions, that opens up the ability to connect with others, acknowledging and validating their emotions. This strengthens and forges deeper relationship with others. Reduced stress. Learning to understand your emotion triggers allows you to be mindful. With mindfulness, you are able to manage your emotional stressors such as anger, grief, and anxiety. Enhanced self-esteem. When you fully understand your emotional responses, you are able to practice self-compassion and self-esteem. To see this, I'll share a story with you, and we'll see what is happening to Sarah. After struggling with anxiety for many years, Sarah finally decides to seek professional help. She finds a therapist who specializes in anxiety disorders and begins attending regular therapy sessions. In her first session, Sarah feels nervous and apprehensive. She's unsure of what to expect and worries about opening up to a stranger. However, as she begins to talk about her experiences, she feels a sense of relief. The therapist listens attentively, offering empathy and validation. The therapist introduces Sarah to the concept of emotional awareness. She explains that anxiety is often rooted in a lack of awareness of one's own emotions, and that by learning to recognize, understand, and manage her emotions, Sarah can gain greater control over her anxiety. Over the next few weeks, Sarah and the therapist work together to identify the specific emotions that trigger her anxiety. They explore the underlying causes of these emotions, examining Sarah's past experiences and belief systems. The therapist teaches Sarah how to practice mindfulness meditation, helping her to focus on the present moment and observe her thoughts and feelings without judgment. She also introduces Sarah to cognitive behavioral therapy techniques, teaching her how to challenge negative thoughts and develop more positive and realistic ones. As Sarah progresses in therapy, she begins to experience significant improvements in her anxiety levels. She learns to recognize the early warning signs of anxiety and to use coping mechanisms to prevent it from escalating. She also develops greater self-compassion, treating herself with kindness and understanding, even when she makes mistakes. One day, Sarah faces a particularly challenging situation at work. Her boss gives her critical feedback on a project, triggering her familiar anxiety symptoms. However, instead of succumbing to panic, Sarah takes a deep breath and reminds herself of the techniques she's learned in therapy. She acknowledges her feelings of frustration and disappointment, but she refuses to let them overwhelm her. She reminds herself that her boss's feedback is not a reflection of her worth as a person, and that she is capable of handling the situation. To alleviate her immediate stress, Sarah excuses herself and goes for a walk. With Sarah taking the walk to decompress, she continues. She returns to her desk and, with a clear mind, calmly and respectfully addresses her boss's concerns, offering solutions and demonstrating her willingness to learn and improve. To her surprise, her boss responds positively, acknowledging her professionalism and expressing confidence in her abilities. Sarah feels a sense of relief and empowerment. For the first time in a long time, she feels like she's in control of her anxiety, rather than the other way around. Over time, Sarah's anxiety continues to diminish. She becomes more confident, assertive, and resilient. She starts to take on new challenges at work, volunteering for projects that she would have previously avoided due to her anxiety. She also begins to build stronger relationships with her friends and family, feeling more comfortable expressing her emotions and setting boundaries. She finds joy in social activities and starts to pursue hobbies that she had previously abandoned due to her anxiety. As Sarah's anxiety fades, she discovers a newfound sense of purpose. She realizes that she has a gift for helping others and decides to use her experiences to inspire and support those who are struggling with anxiety. She becomes a volunteer at a local mental health organization, leading support groups and sharing her story with others. She also starts a blog where she writes about her experiences with anxiety, offering advice, encouragement, and hope. Sarah's journey is a testament to the power of emotional awareness. By learning to recognize, understand, and manage her emotions, she was able to overcome her anxiety, transform her life, and inspire others to do the same. Sarah says, emotional awareness is the ability to say, I'm angry, and that's okay. By doing it, then you can have the power not to be in control. That's a great quote. I say to the listeners, when you can learn to accept your feelings, you can find comfort in that. In many relationships with those that are struggling with trauma or have mental health problems, emotional awareness is the base and most fundamental way of being to find acceptance, healing, and comfort. Emotional awareness is the foundation of a healthier and more fulfilling life. Let's dive into these tips. Practice mindfulness meditation. Regularly practice and focusing on the sensations in your body creates an increased body awareness and emotional recognition. Keep a journal. Journaling the experience of events and how it caused emotions to trigger allows a greater understanding on causes and patterns. Practice empathy. Engage in active listening. Try to understand and validate their perspective, which will build greater connection and stronger emotional awareness. Professional help. Consider seeking professional help from a therapist. With emotional awareness, we gain the power to navigate the complexities of life with greater resilience, empathy, and authenticity. By cultivating a deeper understanding of ourselves and others, we unlock the door to more meaningful connections, fulfilling relationships, and a more joyful and purposeful existence. That's all for today's episode of Laser Mind, Awakened Senses. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me on this journey of emotional awareness. I truly hope that Sarah's story and the tips we shared have resonated with you and inspired you to cultivate your own emotional intelligence. If you enjoyed this episode, I would be incredibly grateful if you could take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to our podcast. Your support means the world to me and helps us reach even more people with our message of awareness and transformation. Be sure to tune in next time for another episode filled with inspiration and practical tips for enhancing your senses. Until then, may you be emotionally aware, may you have empathy, and may you find happiness.